But I agree.
Nobody's going to argue. However,
I know. Well,
the health benefits of healthy fat.
People will argue with that because
Let them. Bring it on. Put it in the comments.
Pass the fire, pass the sounds. Moonshine through the clouds, saddle up, 'cause there's no stopping me now.
Hey, guess what? You found yourself tangled up in another exciting episode of Living Well Together.
Big life in a small town.
It is a big life in a small town. And we're having this conversation about what we're going to discuss tonight. And it's like, wait, why are we discussing this not on camera? Because you deserve to know what we think, and we deserve to know what you think, which is why there's a comment section.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
And so I had somebody in the office this week talking about our podcast.
Oh, really?
Not frequently does that happen. Occasionally. Okay. Although I did catch somebody staring at us when we were in the airport. Yes. And I know they were thinking, that's them. That's them.
When was this?
I'm totally fabricating that story.
Oh.
Actually, I think they're looking at you just because you're going on, you know.
But I have had people come up to me out and about and say something.
Well, but I had somebody in the practice this week say, you know what? My wife and I love you guys' podcast. Aww. We were watching the episode with your nephew.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, that's super cool. Aww. And then they rattled off like 2 or 3 other episodes, which revealed the fact that he wasn't fibbing. He actually does
kind
of get
Travis
in on it.
was on several months ago now.
It's been a long time. And kind of random.
Mm-hmm. Did they watch the one with Hawk and Noble too?
He didn't mention that one.
Okay, I don't know.
One.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fascinating. So anyway, you have found yourself in another, weird world of what are the McCoskies up to tonight?
Well, we're actually just freshly back from a family trip down to Beaufort, South Carolina to celebrate the Happily Ever After party for Caitlin and Jake Sorbello.
Yes, the Sorbellos.
The Sorbellos. And that was so much fun.
I got to hang out with his family, meet his people, aunts and uncles and cousins. And
yes, from all across the country. I don't think any of them were from Belgium, but they do go there frequently and stay there.
Yes.
His stepmom in
Belgium. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, and it was just so fun to be able to hang out. And my mom came from Columbus and my aunt came down from Boston. They are such independent travelers
These are
too.
82.
Early 80s, we'll just say that.
Well, 82-year-old girls who just think they're 25.
And they're like sisters when they're out and about. They are so cute and everybody loves them.
Yep.
And mom rented a car and she was driving all over.
Booked her own flight, booked her own hotel, wouldn't let us do any of it.
No.
So I don't know if she's watching, but thanks for the heart attack.
No, we appreciate it, Mom.
She's
you inspire
very independent and will always be very independent. I'm sure of that. But
100%.
I could not ask for a better mother-in-law in that regard. She's amazing.
Yeah. So there were a lot of really special moments throughout that time together. And I did post their wedding video on my Facebook personal profile if anybody wants to take a glimpse of that too.
Because I'm sure you'll all want to see the wedding.
Well, I love to watch people's weddings. I love wedding videos. I would sit and watch anybody's anytime. I will find, Nathan Nazek, he is a pro at it. And I wish that the campers still did wedding videos too.
I like to watch the ones that show up on America's Funniest Home Videos. I watch those wedding videos all day. Everything else.
You and I are so different. I love to just watch them and just kind of weep occasionally. You know, it's just so sweet. They're so sweet. Okay. They're capturing the highlights of a very, very special day, and they compact it down into 3 minutes. And so
the 3 minutes is a gift because some of those things drag on.
They can. Yes, we don't need to know all the details. We just need the highlights.
Amen.
But we are going to talk about some really fabulous changes that are happening in the United States
health
right
and
now.
wellness.
Yeah.
And what's funny about it is it's controversial. Like, depending on who you talk to about these things, this is bad news.
You are kidding me.
Oh, we'll touch on it.
Okay. Well, I felt like all of it was really good news. We have
you
5
think it's
different
good news. I think it's good news. And at the very least, it's news. Mm-hmm. You have to assign it a meaning. I learned that a long time ago. There's no such thing as good or bad news. No. It's just news.
It's just
and then
news.
Your task is to figure out a meaning for it and how it's beneficial or how it's harmful or whatever. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of people who would rather just be told what to do than think for themselves. Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's still that way with
100% still that way.
Do you think the majority, or do you think more like 50-50, or where do you think that is?
It's still the majority have been programmed to think a certain way, and it's going to take a minute for that to get different.
Yeah.
But somebody has to shine some light on it. Somebody has to introduce a different way of thinking if anything's going to get different.
Right.
So when you look at this country, and we've talked about this more than a couple of times.
No, it's true.
It's in the book that we wrote. When you look at the trends for sickness and disease in America, the trend is not good.
Right, exactly.
We spend more money managing sickness than any country on the planet by far. We have the sickest, heaviest, slowest, and rapidly becoming least productive people on the planet by far.
Yeah.
And so it's not even a contest.
Right.
When you look at obesity rates, when you look at the rate of cancer and cardiovascular disease, now there are diseases that used to be reserved for old people that are now found in the pediatric world. I know.
It's so sad.
When you look at the health of the people in this country, something's got to get different. And so finally we have some people in governmental positions, whether you love them or whether you hate them, is not the conversation. Remember, it's just news.
Right, exactly.
But we finally have somebody who's at least asking some questions and shining some light on some things and saying, hey, look at these trends. What about these trends? And what could we change? Or what should we do differently to modify the trend and turn it around?
Right. Yeah, because
$3.5 trillion a year we spend on sickness.
It's insane. It really is insane. And if we kept going that way, I mean, he's a brave man for doing everything that he's doing.
I can't believe he's still alive, if I'm being honest.
But I just recently read on Mercola's website that if you remember, we talked about the waist circumference ratio to determine obesity, right? Rather than BMI and some of the traditional ways that they had done that. Looking at that body fat distribution formula, it's closer to 71% of the United States are obese. And it's not the obesity part of it. It's what it's doing to our organs on the inside
obesity
that matters.
Promotes so much different disease.
Yes. It's just a cause and an effect.
Yes.
Both things. It's pretty wild. But it can be turned around. And I feel like a lot of these things that we're going to talk about today will have an impact on that as well.
And these are things that are current.
Health.
This is current information.
Current.
It's in the news.
Like within the last week or two, where it's really flipped.
And there is pushback.
Yeah.
Some people don't want anything to change.
Yeah.
Some people love things just the way they are. There's an extraordinary, if you're part of that $3.5 trillion take,
yes, exactly.
you don't necessarily want to see a lot of healthier people in your country.
No, you want them to be on all the drugs. You want them to be in the emergency rooms. You want them to be supporting that system that they've created.
Yeah.
And it's sad and it's scary.
And we'll need those people. This is not about one way versus another way.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot simpler to not get sick than we've been led to believe. Sickness is an expectation now. Beyond a certain stage of your life, you're expected to get sick.
Right.
And again, in our book, the stats are horrible. The average 65-year-old person is taking a significant amount of medication.
Right.
Some of it is for a health condition or lack of health condition. And some of it is to offset the side effects of the medications that they're taking for that condition.
So it's a cascade.
There's huge money in it. So please understand that not everybody wants the world to be a healthier place. And that it's a little naive to assume that that's the case. So when we go through some of the things that have been kind of revealed to be changing, it's important to understand some people don't want to be wrong. They will fight to the death. To defend themselves in their position. And that's fine. Do what you want.
Yeah.
But if we don't at least ask better questions, we really shouldn't expect a trend to change, and we shouldn't expect better outcomes.
Right. But don't you think that, I think it's more about the money than the mindset. I think it's more about the people that are making the money, whether that's part of the stock market or lobbyists or whoever the people are that filters down to. They're going to be the loudest ones.
There's no money to be made managing healthy people.
Right.
And so it's just important to understand that. And so, yes, when things are driven by profit over people, it will be an uphill battle to change the system. So again, we've got some people in the current administration that are asking different questions, and they're using facts and data. They're not just on a whim saying, hey, how about we flip the switch on this?
Right.
The data is very clear. The facts that support it are very clear. And the rule's very simple. If you keep doing what you're doing now, you'll keep getting what you got. So All we got to do is start asking better questions if we want different answers.
So
And that's exactly where we're at.
Yeah. So let's start with, has everybody heard of the food pyramid?
Everybody's going to eat.
Everybody's going
In
to
America, most of us are going to eat.
Yeah.
In fact, we don't even eat because we have to.
We eat because it's fun.
We eat because we want to.
And it's social.
And oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, the question is not will most of us. Now, does that mean there isn't poverty? Does that mean there aren't people going hungry? No. What it means is the overwhelming majority, you don't get fat by not eating. Okay?
Right.
So when you look at obesity trends and the rates of some of the sickness, and so most of us are going to eat. So if you wanted to start looking at changing the system, the diet of the American population would be a good place to start
It
shining
would,
some
because
light.
we're going to eat anyway, so make better choices.
Right.
It's so simple
But
that
if-
way,
Yes.
right?
So share with us some of the ideas. The food pyramid, most of us remember from grade school. I don't even know if they still use it in grade school today.
They might. I mean, it's completely antiquated though,
Yes.
as far as the way it's, the bottom layer is all the grains, breads, like that's the major food group that's
Yes.
down on the bottom. And then they go from there to, I was going to see if I could find a picture of it. And then they go to, I think, fruits and vegetables from there, which that's not too bad. Hang on just a second. Yeah, they'll do fruits and vegetables. And then up above that is milk and cheese with meat,
This is the
And
middle
then
of the pyramid.
sugar. Yeah.
What's at the top of the pyramid?
They have sugar at the top of the old pyramid.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're
let
asking
me
you
see.
to eat processed foods at the bottom, breads and such. Mm-hmm. I should have looked at this actually before we kicked it off.
Yeah. So
That's the old one.
this is the old one. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, so like they at the top they have like condiments, dessert, ice cream, and then next after that is meat, all the meats, ham, bacon, steak, hot dogs, bologna. Then after that is seafood and milk.
Right.
And then next one is fruits and vegetables. And then the big one is all the breads and carbs.
Okay.
And so the way they flipped it now is they literally just inverted it.
Okay.
So it goes like this instead of like this. And then at the tippy top, upside down, so down here is the breads.
Okay.
And then, so they call it whole grains, and then fruits, and then vegetables, and then fats, and then more fruits and vegetables at the top with protein, dairy, and healthy fats.
Okay. And so just at a glance, that is,
Better, but not perfect.
yeah, it's better, but not
Yeah.
great. But, and they're assuming then that the point of the pyramid, in other words, the smaller the space on the pyramid, the less of it you should have.
Correct.
The bigger the space on the pyramid,
Yes.
the more of it you should have.
So they've literally taken the grain part and
Because it's
switched those.
poisonous.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody said, hey, let's take a look at this. The other thing I think people don't realize that grain-based food is sugar. Grain-based food gets converted to sugar very, very quickly in the human stream.
I know you and I kind of disagree a little bit about this.
Well, show me where I'm wrong. And I'm
Well,
always
no,
happy to be
no,
wrong.
it does turn to sugar, but I don't think smart carbs are bad for us. I think we need
Oh, I don't
them
think
for
carbs are bad at all. In fact,
Yeah.
they're on the pyramid for a reason. They're part of it. They need to be there. Carbs
Yeah.
are good for energy fuel. Carbs help
Brain
burn fat.
health.
Carbs are, yeah, so carbs
Yeah.
need to be there.
Right.
But not all carbs are created equally.
Exactly. And
The
that's
carbohydrate
right.
in Wonder Bread is different than the carbohydrate in an apple.
But do you think when they created this back in the day that like Wonder Bread was the thing, but it was so inexpensive to get, and I don't know when they made the old pyramid. I'm just glad that they've switched it up. I'm glad that they're looking at
Well-
things in a new and different way.
So all that stuff, though, you got to follow the sources and you got to follow the resources. So when they created a food pyramid back in probably the 50s,
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm pretty sure that it was
I'm sure we could
right early on in 50s.
AI
yeah.
that or chat that or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's also post World War II, and so food was plentiful, and they were looking to make it very inexpensive. So
Right.
to get To get
So
cheap
much
food was
processing,
important,
yeah.
but it had to be processed. And they learned a lot through World War II. That's where like Tang came along, and how did we preserve? That's where margarine came along. You know, the things that are designed for shelf life,
Yeah.
not necessarily nutrient value.
Okay.
So we can make it cheaper if it's synthetic or processed, and we can make it in abundance if it's less expensive
Right.
and more processed.
Yeah.
So that's when things started trending. You know, that's when the whole breakfast is the most important.
Breakfast
meal of the day.
cereal.
All of it. So all that
That's
grain-based
where those
stuff.
grains
And the
go.
grains that, to be fair, the grains from the 50s, 60s, 70s did not possess the chemistry that they possess today. I don't even know when glyphosate. There's another chat search for you.
Yeah.
When was Roundup invented or glyphosate invented? But whole grains back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, probably even in the 80s, were different and much healthier, more healthful than grains that we're consuming today that have been genetically modified for.
1974.
Okay, that's a food pyramid,
That's
Glyphosate.
that's the glyphosate.
right?
They're saying that the food pyramid, this is just on chat, so I haven't done a deep dive, but they said the very first food pyramid didn't start in the US. It started in Sweden in 1974 as well. As a simple visual tool to help people eat nutritionally on a budget. So it's kind of like what
It
we were
does
just
revolve
talking
around
about.
economics.
So it had three
What
levels.
doesn't?
Base was grain, dairy, potatoes, the basic staples. Middle was fruits and vegetables. Top was meat, fish, and eggs.
Yep, because
So
they were
most
more
expensive.
expensive, yes.
Most expensive. But then they're saying that the U.S. food pyramid didn't come out until 1992. That was the year that Grace was born. I
You
feel
don't
like
believe everything on you hear on the internet.
No, I really feel like we had it longer than that. And it was introduced as America's visual guide to daily nutrition. Grains at the base, 6 to 11 servings per day,
Yep.
followed by fruits and vegetables.
So if you want to get really soft and really kind of chubby, you would have 6 servings of grain a day.
It's saying 6 to 11.
Yeah. Wild.
Then dairy and protein foods, then fats, oils, and sweets at the top.
There's
which-
so much to unpack on this.
I know,
You
I know.
Not all
Gosh.
fats, oils, and seeds are created equally.
No,
Not all
I
fruits and
know.
vegetables are created equally.
But and that's what I like. I kind of like the way they've done it, rather than having these strict line layers.
Okay.
They kind of have a flow of food in this one.
Yes.
And I feel like they're taking into consideration that everybody's body chemistry is different, and it doesn't have
For
to
the first time ever.
be
by
the
way.
same way. I know, yeah. And you know, the thing that we're learning about protein, which only at the tippy top of the old one, right?
Because,
It's not just muscle. Protein isn't just muscle. Like,
No.
that's what we associate it with. It's neurotransmitters.
100%. It's in
It
every
is
cell in the system
Detox
relies on
enzymes.
protein. Yeah.
I mean, we need protein. Hormone precursors.
Yep.
Like if you want a healthy hormonal system, you need to eat protein.
Yeah. Not bread. There's no
bread.
protein in bread or
So,
pizza crust or bagels or
when I-
crackers or chips.
This is my basic. I don't like macros. I feel like I'm going to get completely away from that because I feel like we are micromanaging our wellness in a way that is not healthy for us.
100% true. Well, I mean, the outcomes
but
would
this is-
suggest you're right on.
Right. But for a basic, just day to day, 90 grams of protein. This is for a menopausal woman. 90 grams of protein, 60 grams of smart carbs, and then 30 grams of fat. And so it's 30, 60, 90, if you can remember that. And it's a good gauge. You're getting all of
It's a
the
good place to
nutrients
start.
that you need.
And then you get to
Yes,
watch
and
your
then
body
you can-
transform. You get to watch it
Right.
change, and you get to watch it sleep different, eat different, move
Right.
different.
Yeah.
Pain patterns change. There's a million things that will get different if all you did was the 30, 60, 90.
And for 90 days, give yourself, just do an experiment on your body.
Yeah.
See how you feel. See how your brain feels. See how your body, aches and pains, joint health,
Yes.
all of the things. But anyways, I'm thrilled that they are changing it up because it's not about dieting.
No.
The food pyramid isn't about dieting. It's about cellular energy, right?
And living
And
to
living.
eat versus eating to live.
Right.
Well, the other thing that's significant about that is because it's a government recommendation, it's going to influence policy in schools.
Right. Which
right.
is a good trickle down.
You look at the way school, there's an overwhelming, significant population of kids that get a free school breakfast and a free school lunch.
Right. I know.
And
And
if
so
we're
they're
gonna-
eating.
Oh my gosh, what
just
is it? What a
trash.
nice experiment it would be to take away all the processed, snacky type, Now, is a breakfast bar better than nothing for breakfast?
Yes.
Sometimes, not always actually. And
But
then they
if
wonder
you're
why they can't sit
starving,
still in class.
no.
They can't process information. They can't do math.
Yeah.
The brain needs nourishment, and protein is a smart morning food. And we'll give them a Rice Krispie bar and hope for the best.
Right, I
So
do
when
love
you
Rice
look
Krispie
at the
bars.
changes in this pyramid, it's going to affect the way school lunches and public stuff. It's going to affect the way our military gets fed. Big deal.
Love
It's
that,
going to affect the way that federal feeding programs are
Well, that's what I was
implemented.
going to say. We can, I mean, the SNAP program, that's one of the things that's changing. And from a functional lens, junk food is not going to be subsidized anymore. So
Well, I want to buy what I want to buy.
well,
I want to buy what I want to buy.
Then they
And you
might say-
can. You just
Yeah.
can't use federal money.
Right, exactly. Because that's also feeding this other side of the subsidized programs as far as the health part of it.
People just don't understand the correlation, I think, between what they eat and how they feel. If all you did, and we teach this in our workshops in the office and all that, but if all you did was keep a journal of the things that you eat, here's what I had, here's what time I ate it or drank it, and here's how I felt 2 hours later.
Right. Yeah.
If all you did was begin to record the way you eat and drink, you would be able to pinpoint the things that make you feel awful or make you feel emotional or make you feel heavy and full and bloaty. If all you did was journal it for 2 weeks, you would solve so much mystery. And then that here's what you would need to change. And we've taught this for so many years. It's just really kind of fascinating to see it, kind of moving into vogue.
Yeah. And that's just it. And
But I want to eat the way I want to eat. I want to do the way I want to do. Well, it's costing everybody money. Watch. If it's $350 million a year or trillion, I'm sorry, 3.5 trillion dollars.
yes.
Divided by 350 million Americans is $10,000 a person. Every man, woman, and child. And it's going up, not down. And people will say, well, I didn't spend $10,000 on healthcare last year. Well, yes, you did. Because it's 20% of our GDP. 20% of every dollar spent goes to managing all the sickness that comes from diabetes and heart disease and cardiovascular stuff and cancer, all fueled by what we eat and drink. Go. Sorry. Gosh, Lisa, what else can we talk about that's happier than this?
No, it's not happier. It's just I want to talk about the things that have changed, not what's already currently happening. Like what has been flipped for us.
Okay.
So the SNAP restrictions, sugar dysregulates leptin, cortisol. So if we can get away from sugar, like you said,
Sugar is technically poisonous.
exactly. And so
It's so tasty, though.
access doesn't necessarily equal nutrition. And I think that the fact that they're changing that up is going to help us to see a healthier childhoods. Is my
Durability's
hope and
got to
prayer.
be part of it, though. These are not changes you can make for 2 months and hope for the best.
no.
You need to make a mindset and an influential change that lasts for a lifetime. So then there's data that's going to be coming out that we can say, hey, this change, was it beneficial or not beneficial? And it should be revealed. If we're wrong, go back to doing it, flip the pyramid again.
Yeah, but think about the other side of that and how good you might feel
Oh my gosh.
and how that's going to change your life.
And how does it affect your decision making and your cognition and your relationship skills and how well you sleep at night? I mean, there's so much more to this than buying bigger pants.
Right, exactly.
Food is only part of the things. We
Right.
mentioned on the front of the podcast about things that are changing. There are 2 other things that we'll probably cover. But in this 25, 30 minutes, I could rant for days. And you would have to pull me off the ledge. And you would steer
You
me
guys
back.
can actually, I'm sure by now, after this is like 106 episode or something like that, you can tell by the way I look at him that I'm about to put the smack
Snatch
down.
me by my hair. Well, so what we'll do is break it up.
Yeah,
then.
no, we'll do
And
a part
wrap
2
on
for next
food.
week, and we'll talk about.
But comments, we want to,
Yeah.
if this is mattering to you, or if you have other questions or concerns or hallelujahs, put them in the comments.
Yeah,
If it's valuable to you,
yeah.
what else do they do?
Yeah, like, subscribe, follow, and you already
Share and
talked about commenting. So yeah, we can
comment,
do that.
yeah.
But stay tuned for part 2 because
Yeah.
we're going to cover some other really important things that will affect you and your family's lives. Take
See you
care
next
for now.
time.
Bye.